Hey Valley, welcome back to another G67 math video. Tonight we're going to be finding the surface area of cylinders. But before we do that, let's start off with a trivia question about baby names. Name me just one of the 6 most popular baby names for a boy or a girl in 2016. So I have 12 names total. Go ahead and see if you can write one of them down. I couldn't get a single one of them. I was shocked. That's kind of interesting. All right, officially tonight our target is I can find the surface area of cylinders. Let's do this thing. I wrapped up a water heater in birthday paper and gave it to my wife as a gift. She wasn't thrilled. If there was absolutely no overlap of paper, how much paper did I use? Well, this is a surface area question. And there are a couple of different ways that I'm going to show you to find the surface area of a cylinder tonight. And the first one is using a formula. So the formula you can use is the surface area is equal to 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Yikes. Let me explain a little bit more. The 2 pi RH, this is really finding you the area of this soup label here. And what they're doing is they're basically saying we need to find what 2 times the radius is, or the circumference, and we need to multiply it by the height because the circumference is going to be the same measure as this, as the length of this soup label, or the rectangle. Now we already have the height. We already know the height is 5. The height over here is 5 feet. So this is going to be 5 feet. We need to determine this measure right here. Okay, the other part of the equation, you add to it 2 pi r squared. Well, we know that pi r squared is one circle, so 2 pi r squared is going to add both of these circles in. So what does this look like? Well, we're going to go ahead and do that. First of all, did you look at what a dandy water heater is? 5 feet wide. 5 feet high, 2 feet wide, 55 gallons. I have no idea why she reacted like this. Come on, Martha. It was a nice gift. All right, so here I've taken and I plugged all the variables into the formula, and I just want to show you where I got them. So here's the formula: 2 times 3.14 we're using for pi, it's our abbreviation, times the radius, times the height. Now that's going to give us the rectangular part of the net, plus 2 times pi times 1 squared. So 1 squared is our radius. So when we start simplifying that, 2 times 3.14 is going to be 6.28. The 1.5 I simplified is down as equaling times 5. And then here's another 2 times 3.14, that's 6.28 times 1 squared. Well, 1 squared is 1, so anything times 1 is just 1. So simplifying a little bit further, 6.28 times 5 is 31.4. And now we just have to add that to 6.28, and I get 37.68. That is the amount of wrapping paper I need, 37.68 feet squared of wrapping paper. So not only was it a beautiful gift, but it was wrapped beautifully, and I spent nearly 40 feet of wrapping paper. All right, enough fun with that. Let's take a look at the must-know words today. When you talk about finding surface area of cylinders, you're really talking about 2 types of things. You're talking about the lateral surface area. That's this piece here, the soup label, or the rectangle part of the net, as I keep calling it. And then you've got the bases. That's the top circle and the bottom circle. And so the total surface area is when you add all those together. So you can use the formula, and it's a pretty cool formula. If I click here, you'll see where all these things come from. I explained it once, I'll explain it again. So the total surface area is equal to 2 pi RH, that gives you the lateral surface area, the area of this label or the rectangular part of the net. And then you've got the bases, 2 pi r squared. Well, pi r squared gives you one of them. 2 pi r squared gives you both circles. So that's one way of finding it. My way of finding it is I just find the area of the circle and I write it right here. And then I write it right here too, because both circles are going to be the same. Then I find the circumference and I write it right here, and I multiply these together and I just add things up. That way I don't have to memorize the formula and make a mistake on the formula. Or do I even have to think about the formula? But I'm going to let you choose whichever way you want to work is cool with me. I'm going to show you how to use my method a couple of times. All right, so what is the surface area of this soup can according to the Dan Dudley version? Well, I'm going to find the area of this circle, I'm going to find the area of this circle, and this label. Okay, so I got 2.8, that's my diameter. Well, I'm going to use pi r, and I'm going to find the area of that circle. So the radius is 1.4, it's half of the diameter. I pop that in, 3.14 times 1.4 times 1.4, gotta square that radius, gives me an area of 6.1544. So here's my little drawing. I always make one of these little guys when I'm finding the surface area. So I just plop that in. There's the area, and there's the area. I only got to find one more and add them all together. Now, I know that this bottom measurement, as I explained earlier, that's really going to be the same as the circumference of that circle. It has to be because the label goes all the way around it. So the circumference is going to be this length. So I can find the circumference. I'm just going to take the diameter times pi. So 2.8 was the diameter. So I go pi d, and I got 8.792. Now I've got my other measurement. All I have to do is multiply these two guys together, and I get the area of this rectangle, 35.168. Add all those guys together, the two circles, the rectangle, 47.4768 inches squared. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. I didn't have to think about the formula. The formula's great if you can remember it, or if you want to derive that formula by thinking about it. We're doing the exact same thing. I just like two circles and a rectangle. I'm a simple kind of guy. Let me do it one more time for you. What's the surface area of this soup can? Or of this can here, I guess. It's not a soup can. It's a can. Well, got to find the areas of the circles. So the area of the circle, the radius is going to be 3 if the diameter is 6. I'm going to slide that down so you can see it. So 3.14 times 3 times 3, pi r gives me 28.26. Pop that in. Those are my two circles. All I got to do is find this guy and multiply them together. All right, let's see. How am I going to do that? Let's see. Oh, that's right. It's the circumference of the circle. So I take the circumference. I do pi d to find the circumference. Here's my pi. The diameter was 6. Pi d gives me 18.84. Now I just have to multiply these two guys together and get my answer. Well, that's pretty easy. You're just multiplying by 10. You're just moving the decimal ones. All I got to do is add them all up. Here are the two circles. Here's the rectangle. 244.92 centimeters squared. Slam bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to have you try one of each and see what you like better. And I'll even give you the formula. Go ahead and try my way first here. I think. Yeah, go ahead and do mine first. Okay, I'm back. Did you find two circles? Did you find the rectangle? Okay, here's the way I did it. When I popped pi r, I got 113.04 for the two circles. My circumference is 37.68. Sorry, this was supposed to say circumference. I missed that one. 150.72. Add them all up. Should be down here. 376.8 centimeters squared. If you use the pi key in your calculator, it's going to be a little bit different. But if you use 3.14, that should be exact. All right, let's have you try one with the formula. Here's the formula right here. Here's your cylinder. Go ahead and pause the video and give it a shot. Let's see. All right, get your radius, your height. Pop those babies in. Your radius is 0.8. Here's your height and your radius squared. When you simplify that all down, you end up with 22.608 plus 4.0192. I got 26.6272 yards squared. How'd you do? Good. You ready for one more? Actually, two more for the ticket. And I got to slide this over a little bit so you can see it. All right, so find this area, surface area of these two cylinders. No pictures, but notice that one is a radius and one is a diameter. I want to make sure I try to challenge you on that. See if you remember what to do. Okay, write those down, bring those in tomorrow. That'll be your ticket to the show. What are the most popular names for girls and boys? Well, the most popular boy name was Liam, and girl was Emma. The second, number 2, was Noah and Olivia. Ethan and Ava, or Eva. I've seen it go both ways. Really, that's Ava, but sometimes Eva is spelled that way too. I had a student that way. Lucas and Sophia. Mason and Isabella. Oliver and Mia. I couldn't name one of them.